Hello and welcome. This is Notibot ENG. Tonight, we bring you a recap of the latest developments in the ongoing conflict between the US and Iran. President Trump has announced plans to boost diplomatic efforts to end the war, while also pausing Project Freedom, a military operation aimed at deterring Iranian attacks on shipping lanes. We'll delve into these key announcements and explore what they mean for the region's stability. Stay with us as we break down the latest news on Iran, the US, and the complex web of international relations involved. As tensions in the Middle East continue to escalate, a major shift has been made by US President Donald Trump in his approach to Iran. The United States is stepping up efforts to bring an end to the ongoing war between Iran and its enemies, as tensions in the region continue to escalate. According to reports from Bloomberg Politics, the U.S. believes it's close to a deal with Iran to put an end to the fighting. This development comes on the heels of increased diplomatic pressure from global leaders, including China, which has been urging restraint on all sides. The war between Iran and its enemies has lasted for nearly 10 weeks, resulting in significant loss of life and widespread destruction. The U.S. is said to be working closely with key players, including European powers such as France and the UK, as well as other regional actors, to hammer out a mutually acceptable agreement. President Donald Trump's administration is believed to have suspended plans to withdraw U.S. troops from the Persian Gulf region, which had been a major point of contention in talks. This shift in policy suggests that the U.S. is willing to work with Iran and its allies to find a peaceful resolution to the conflict. The significance of this development cannot be overstated. The war has already had far-reaching consequences for global energy markets and regional stability. As the situation continues to unfold, it's clear that diplomatic pressure from the international community is starting to bear fruit. With the U.S. and Iran on the cusp of a deal, hopes are rising that an end to the fighting may be within sight. We now turn to developments in the Middle East, where the U.S. is ramping up diplomatic efforts amid a pause on a major Iran peace initiative. U.S. diplomatic efforts intensify as Iran war nears end. The United States and Iran are nearing a deal to end the ongoing war that has lasted nearly 10 weeks. According to Axios, Washington and Tehran are working on a one-page memorandum of understanding that would set a framework for more detailed nuclear negotiations. This development comes as U.S. President Donald Trump's administration pauses Project Freedom, a military operation aimed at deterring Iranian aggression in the Middle East. The project, which was announced by Trump last month, has been met with skepticism by some lawmakers and experts who argue it is counterproductive to diplomatic efforts. The Memorandum of Understanding, reportedly just one page long, would establish guidelines for the two countries to follow as they engage in nuclear talks. Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, has expressed openness to negotiations, but says that any agreement must be based on Iran's sovereignty and territorial integrity. The U.S. believes that an agreement with Iran is close, with Secretary of State Mike Pompeo stating earlier this week that we're making progress. However, the pace of talks remains uncertain, and it's unclear when a final deal can be reached. The international community is watching closely as the war between the two nations has raised concerns about regional stability and global security. As tensions between Iran and the United States continue to escalate, former President Donald Trump is now weighing in on a potential resolution. Iran should do the smart thing and reach a peace deal with U.S., Donald Trump says. Former U.S. President Donald Trump has called on Iran to do the smart thing and negotiate a peace deal with the United States. In an interview with Euronews, Trump said that his administration's efforts to engage with Iran had been totally successful, but were met with resistance from Iranian leaders. He stated that the U.S. is willing to work with Iran to achieve a comprehensive peace agreement. The comments come as tensions between the U.S. and Iran remain high, following a series of attacks on oil tankers in the Persian Gulf. The U.S. has accused Iran of being behind the attacks, while Iran denies any involvement. The situation has raised concerns about the potential for escalation and its impact on regional stability. Trump's comments are significant because he was the U.S. president who withdrew from the 2015 nuclear deal with Iran, known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA. His administration imposed new sanctions on Iran in 2018, which led to a significant increase in tensions between the two countries. Trump's willingness to engage in talks with Iran suggests that he is open to revisiting the JCPOA or finding alternative solutions to address regional security concerns. The situation highlights the complexities of U.S.-Iran relations and the need for diplomatic efforts to prevent further escalation. The Iranian government has repeatedly stated its commitment to defending itself against perceived threats, while the U.S. seeks to reassure allies in the region about Iran's intentions. As tensions continue to simmer on the Iran conflict, a new development emerges from the negotiating table with U.S. President Donald Trump at its center. Good evening. I'm your name, and this is a recap of the latest developments in the Iran crisis. United States President Donald Trump has announced a temporary pause to the U.S. military's Project Freedom operation in the Strait of Hormuz, citing great progress towards a potential agreement with Iran. The operation, which aimed to deter Iranian attacks on oil tankers in the region, has been suspended for a short period to see whether a complete and final agreement can be reached. The move comes as tensions in the Gulf remain high, despite Trump's assertion that great progress has been made. However, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian has accused Washington of pursuing a policy of maximum pressure, expecting Iran to submit to unilateral demands. Pezeshkian stated that Iran will not be intimidated by U.S. sanctions and pressures, and that the country will continue to defend its sovereignty. The Iranian leader also called for an end to U.S. aggression in the region, saying that it was driving a wedge between Iran and other countries. The development has significant implications for global oil markets, with the Strait of Hormuz being one of the most critical choke points in the world's largest oil-producing region. A pause in Project Freedom could ease tensions in the area, but also raises concerns about the potential for further escalation. The future of U.S.-Iran relations remains uncertain, and it is unclear whether a deal can be reached before the operation resumes. The United States has been working on a new agreement with Iran since May, when Trump announced that he would withdraw the U.S. from the Intermediate-Range Nuclear Forces Treaty. As tensions between major world powers escalate, top Trump advisor John Bolton is urging China to use its significant influence over Iran to achieve a critical goal. Top Trump advisors urge China to leverage Iran ties to reopen Strait of Hormuz to global traffic. A group of senior officials from the Office of U.S. Trade Representative and the State Department have called on China to help facilitate a resolution to the maritime dispute blocking the Strait of Hormuz, according to reports. The advisors believe that by leveraging their relationship with Iran, China can play a key role in pressuring Iran's allies and regional powers to find a compromise. The dispute began after the United States withdrew its military presence from Iraq following the withdrawal of U.S. troops. This was followed by an attack on 2 oil tankers in the Strait of Hormuz, which led to widespread condemnation from Western nations. The incident has raised tensions between Iran and the United States, with both sides imposing economic sanctions on each other. The U.S. officials are seeking China's help due to its influence in the region and its strong relationship with Iran. They believe that by working together, China can help facilitate a resolution to the dispute and ensure that the Strait of Hormuz remains open to global shipping. The move comes as tensions between the United States and Iran continue to escalate. The reopening of the Strait of Hormuz is crucial for the global economy, as it accounts for approximately 20% of global oil shipments. A closure would have significant implications for energy markets and the global economy. That's all for today's recap. We'll continue to monitor the situation in the Middle East. If you'd like to stay up to date on the latest news, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. Our team works hard to bring you the most important stories, and we appreciate your support. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.